and welcome back to the Forged Alliance for Retard series with your host Nibelosky, bringing you some higher level 3 versus 3 action on Whitefire. Before we actually get into the replay, I'd just like to welcome new subscribers. I have to say the channel's actually expanded quite a lot since my educational video, and I say educational in the loosest sense of the word. There was just a single question that I'd like to clear up before I actually shoutcast the replay. I don't remember who it was who commented asking what FAR stands for. This is actually nothing to do with Forged Alliance Reborn whatsoever. The acronym actually is just to do with my opening chat, which is Forged Alliance for Retards. Just a very quick bit of background. The Forged Alliance for Retards series, the reason it came about was in the early videos that I did, it was myself and a few other newish players to the game, and we had a tournament which we aptly dubbed the Forged Alliance for Series, Forged Alliance for Retards tournament. And the name kind of just stuck, and I've used it on my videos ever since. So certainly the implication is not on you guys, it's just actually the name that stuck on. In any case, let's begin having a look at the players, having a look at the teams. At the top here, we are going to name these guys Team 1, and at the bottom, we're going to name them Team 2. So we have a look at our first player up here, going Cybran in Ferrari Red. It is Silver Eye, deciding that he is going to go first land in his usual mesh of mass, power, and so on. Stacked up. Over to his right, playing the rearguard position, going orange, and Cybran also in slow motion. Currently, actually the highest ranked player, according to the ladder rankings anyway, on Forged Alliance Forever. It is Zoki Zok, taking the leaf out of Silver's book and was going first land. Playing their front guard position on the island, it is Krusty Pat. I believe it's Krusty Pat. God only knows. I'm going to be corrected on it, no doubt. But it is Krusty Pat. He's going Seraphim yellow and going first land as well, as is customary with the front island. And his opposite on the other island in front of him, it is JMD3AU1. I'm sure that translates to something, but I'm just going to call him JMD because I am lazy. He is going first air and has gone Seraphim. I'm actually quite surprised at the first air choice, but fair play. Maybe he's got a plan in motion already. Behind him, going in blue, and the only Aeon player on the map, it is Tanako Asius. I'm just going to call him Asius because, again, I am, as aptly named as the series, Forged Alliance for Retards, I cannot pronounce names. So, we're going to name him, Asius. Deciding to go first land, and so on, and right at the back, very familiar face to casting. As always, Luzon decided to go UEF, land, and usual sort of engineer spam and so forth. Anyway, let's get back up to speed. Let's sort of go back up to normal speed, as it were. Interestingly enough, only one commander deciding to brave the oceans is Krusty Pat, who's deciding actually with a couple of Zooies to traverse the pond. We do have an early bomber out as well from JMD, and keep a keen eye on where that bomber is going. He's not really going to find much of a developed base, having only 2 engineers and a land factory coming out. He's just stopping at the moment to source where he needs to go. There's actually an anti-air out from the land factory as well. Not sure how long that bomber is going to last. Missed out on its target, which is a bit of a shame. He manages to take out anti-air unit. He's going to have a field day, but he's deciding to look up to Silver Eye instead, looking to pick up some engineers for his troubles. I always find this a very neat thing that players so much better than me manage to do. Is they actually manage to stop their bombers and have a bit of a think about which target they're going to go for, but unfortunately that bomber is not going anywhere. And making landfall. I've never seen this tactic, maybe it's more common than I realised. Krusty Pat is boarding onto JMD's island. I think JMD is going to be pretty surprised by the commander suddenly emerging. The two Zoos having taken out the two mexes on the other side of the island. And reclaiming, that's going to give him the extra boost. He's stopped reclaiming that building now, it's gone down anyway. Seraphim Commander's duking it out. Of course, JMD is going to have the fair share of the health, so Christie's going to have to be very careful what he's doing. Whether Christie realises that, of course, all that reclaim is going to help his expansion up here. He's got 3 power generators. He's not really expanded as much as perhaps some of the other players here. But JMD's base lies pretty much ruined. The torpedo launcher going up as well to prevent Christie Pat from escaping. I'm not sure whether that's going to be enough health taken off Christie to warrant that, and to be honest, it hasn't managed to get up anyway. And then JMD taking a massive hit within the first 4 minutes. I hear a few Cyclones patrolling around. If we slow it just down to -1, have a look at the stat scores on the doors. It actually does look pretty bleak for Asius down here. I'm not entirely sure what has happened to his mass. He's on an upgrade at the moment, but in comparison to the others, he seems to be lagging quite severely behind. Even JMD managing to rake in 50 mass, but I'm fairly sure, yes, it's because he wasn't on an upgrade. A few bombers going out from Luzon on a Zoc's base at the north. Not having seen much from Silver Eye up and the top here. So a quick look on the reclaim scores on the doors. Silver Eye managing to get 5,500. Zoc coming up to 5. Asius 5,000 as well. Luzon, interestingly enough, only 3,000. And Christie, of course, having sort of sent his commander over the way and concentrated more on the other base. He's not really reclaimed all that much. And JMD as well. So it looks like the two front players are lacking in the reclaim game. We bring this back up to speed again. We're going +2. Let's get some movement going on. A few attack submarines finally coming out from Silver Eye in the north. Not a great deal of movement. We have a couple of Zoos as well porting JMD's island. JMD quickly rushing over after having pretty much his entire base taken down within the first 5 minutes of the game. Luzon's Thunderhead at the front here is frigate having a pop at some of the engineers of Zoc. Zoc looking as if he's got a pretty established navy coming along, as well as Silver at the top here. It doesn't look as if Luzon's all that interested. In fact, to be honest with you, we slow this down to 0 again. I'm not really sure what Luzon is planning to do. He's going to go one naval factory in the water. Is an upgrade on his commander, which looks like that is a massive size of the gun on that thing. Looks as if he's got quite a number of upgrades. If we have a look at Luzon's commander and just see what he's actually got. He has the amplifier and Tech 2, so that is a pretty stocked commander. And a destroyer out, so it looks as if Asius has decided he's going to go for tech over numbers. That destroyer heading directly for Silver Eye's base. I'm not too sure how much help that's going to provide in terms of damage. He's got 4 tridents after him at the moment. And those tridents wailing away at him. Again, this is the only problem, unless you have a couple of destroyers and such a slow fire rate on the Exodus class. Zoc joining in by, oh, good hit, trying to kill off this Exodus class, but I think numbers are going to win for the time being. As I spotted at the bottom left in the chat, it does look as if Zoc was interested in getting a huge amount of frigates out as soon as possible. Naval domination going to Team 1, certainly within the first 10 minutes of the game. Just back up to +1. And oh, and Luzon's commander has decided he's going to go. He's going to go for it, and I think this is a pretty balls to the wall tactic. I think he's going all the way. As the Navy converges from Team 1, Luzon converges from the south. It is a Trident there, which is anti-air, only a few Prowlers, and a ping goes down on Luzon, dropping, and I'm not sure whether Zok's going to be able to anticipate. He's gone mass Navy, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to go to split screen because I can never remember the key for it. We keep an eye on the top right and bottom left. Mass naval incursion going at the left-hand side of our screen. And Luzon deciding he's going to go for plasma cannons everywhere. Interestingly enough, the power's just waiting to start on the plasma cannon, but I'm not sure whether Zok is going to have an answer for this. Starlifter managing to kill off the Medusa, which is going to be targeting the plasma cannons. I'm not sure whether Asios is going to be able to repel all that firepower. Both teams, looks as if both rear card players are in a bit of a sticky situation. I'd say out of the two of them, Zok, maybe, because he's got such a naval presence, will be able to recover better than Asios at the bottom here, who doesn't really look as if he's got much in reserve. I think he filtered way too much into that naval factory. Zok's base going to absolute ruin. He's getting up some triads now, Luzon. And Asios' commander removing from the lake a few Vespers, 3 Vespers coming back, and will take care of those Tridents. So it does look as if Asios has managed to get things under control. Luzon, there's PD spamming in Zok's base. Interesting to see how Zok reacts to this. He's got a upgrade coming on his commander. The Vespers from Asios sorting out that Trident spam. Luckily that HQ, because of just marginal amounts of damage from the Tridents. That factory remains intact. So luckily Asios will be able to keep pumping out Vespers from that factory. And it looks as if only Zok has only got his navy left. His land presence completely gone at the top right here. And Christy Pat deciding he's going to send in some Zuis. And I don't know whether Luzon has seen that actually. I guess he must have seen that. And I know he's got the triads down, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of Zuis, Luzon. Is he going to get out of here? Zok pummeling him with a gun upgrade, and a whole host of Zui fire descends on Luzon. If he gets out of this, he truly is a remarkable player. Zui's a deadly accuracy. Remembering he does have backup in the form of a couple of Tridents behind him. All of those plasma cannons having gone down, he's managed to defend himself with his gun upgrade. I have to... Oh, we got a commander battle down here as well. JMD looking as if he's actually under quite a lot of pressure at the moment. Overcharging the Trident to his north. The Silvereye having made it across the ocean. Luzon now down to less than 4,000 health. But I think JMD's overstretched himself with the overcharge, and it does look as if JMD is the first casualty to go out of the game at 11 minutes and 45 seconds. And Luzon managing to make a cheeky escape. Assailant wailing away at him from the west, making a walk, but JMD, unfortunately, the front guard player for Team 2 having gone down, so Team 2 looking in a right mess at the moment. I'm quite surprised that Silver's not managed to pump out any kind of air to make sure that Luzon doesn't escape from that situation. Maybe I've missed something, usually I have. Go back to... Oh, never ever remember the keys. Always get them mixed up. And Luzon, I'll be absolutely fascinated to see. I think he will do. There's no air whatsoever. Zoc has got a single flying eye scouting Asius at the bottom. That transport getting hit by the anti-air on the Salems. Zoc and an attack pin going down on Silver. I don't know whether... Luzon, I'm not sure whether that's the greatest of ideas. I don't know whether he realizes, but I think Silvereye does have...
Commander under attack.
He's got Tech 2. He has the nanite torpedo launcher. I'm fairly sure he did have an upgrade on him. I'm not really sure whether Luzon's made the correct choice here. He does have a few of Asius's Vespers in behind him to sort out those Salems. And a massive attack from Christy Pat. Really, Christy hasn't really had much of an issue from anybody in this game. And Luzon, I don't think is going to escape from this. Luzon out at minute 13, having been defeated, and I'm afraid this battle now turns into a 3-on-1. Luzon absolutely furious. I am surprised. I do understand why he's upset. He was pretty much underwater, and with the Vespers underneath as well. Not entirely sure why. I think it might have been the Salem torpedo. I'm not sure what killed him. Proclaiming he can see the head over the water is ridiculous. Silvereye being brought down to less than 2,000, but unfortunately, I think that is Asius throwing down the good game. Game done and dusted within 15 minutes. Looks as if Team 1 decided to hold fast in their bases. A risky tactic from Luzon. Did manage to defeat most of Zoc's base, but really it wasn't enough. Good game from all players, as usual. I am looking, of course, to do more replay videos, as always. However, I'm looking also to do more of the, not so much instructional videos, but sort of information videos on the game. So if you have any ideas on informational videos that you think might be cool, it's really directed more at new players to get them interested in building the community, whether it be vanilla or FAF. And what I'm really interested in, more than anything at the moment, are comments, guys. I read every single comment that comes onto the channel. I try and take on any advice and feedback that you might have, whether it be positive or critical. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.